All right, hey, folks, check it out. I want to share with you in this video fog. I've been asked, how do you create the beams of light, like going through windows, or beams of light, going through cracks in walls, or sharp, patterned fog, or dreamy fog? I'm going to show you that in this video the best way I can. Okay. And I want you to know that throughout the entire video, the camera settings stayed exactly the same. Okay. I shot everything at a half a second, and I'll explain that in the video. And, ISO 100 f8. And if you stay to the end, if you can manage to deal with all my rambling through the video, I do have an editing clip at the end of the video where I edited an image. So if you can deal with me, there's your reward. But anyway, it's a cool video. It does explain the differences between flash and lume cubes and what each one can offer. And watch the video, like and subscribe. Follow me on all the social media platforms. I really appreciate it. Check out all the diorama props and stuff that I sell on my website, insightfulimagery.com. I also sell STL files. Thanks to the people who have jumped on there and already started purchasing some of those STL files and stuff. I really appreciate that support. In the meantime, let's check out the video. All right, take care. I've got a basic pose for Mr. Nosferatu here. I'm going to show you how I build the lights up for this. I think I'm going to start with my light coming. Well, first let me tell you where I've got lights. I've got an overhead light with a snoot giving light just down onto the top and the outer, circle of the floor around him. And then I've got another flash with a grid on it behind the window there. That's the Evolve 200, and the overhead light is the Explore 600. And those are the two flashes. And then I've got two lume cubes I'm going to use. And what I think I would like to do, you need to build your lights up to see what each one is offering to the set. So I think we're going to start firstly with the light overhead. I'm going to go ahead and shut the overhead light off in my studio here. And we're going to go ahead and let me turn off this other flash because I'm going to set each flash the way I want one at a time, and I don't want them both going off. So let's shut off this main light here. And I'll bring up all the images on screen when I take them into Lightroom. So let's go ahead, and right now the current flash burst duration for the light, for the flash behind the window, which is on channel B, is at 1/16 flash burst duration. So let's we're on a 10-second timer. Let's take a shot and see what that looks like. My shutter speed is half a second right now. That just doesn't matter with flash. It's not gonna matter in this case at all. It's going to drag the shutter a little bit and pick up any ambient light I have in the room, but it's not going to do anything for the flash. Okay, so looking at this image, image 3951, let me just scroll through and see his face. I think we did pretty good right there. We've got good definition in the window, the screen, the window panes. I think we got nothing's really blown out there. When we go to introduce the fog into the shot, it will increase the amount of reflection and overall light in the scene. So we might have to adjust that later, but I think it looks good right there. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my overhead flash on, which is the Explore 600 with a snoot, and you can see there by the modeling light which way that the light is falling, and it's covering him pretty well. So we're going to turn the modeling light off, and what I'm going to do is call out the channel A. I'm at 1/64th of a second flash burst duration. So let me wheel up here to channel A. Let's take a shot and see what the top of this is looking like on his hat and some of the wing tips of the bat and stuff like that. Because on the first shot, his lower part of his torso, you know, fell into darkness as it got closer to the ground. So this should fix that. And let's see, image 2, 3952. And I can. It's not really that hot on top of his hat. So we're going to go from 1/64th up to 1/32. Let's give that a go. And we're still at half a second. But like I say, that doesn't matter with the flash. Unless it was over the camera sync speed, you know, then it would matter. the camera shutter sync speed. Let's see what we're looking like on this one. 3953, got a little bit more light on the top up there. I'm looking at the ground. You can see the little rats, the tips of the wings of the bat look really nice. I like that. That looks good. Okay, I think we're going to be okay right there, and we definitely got more light on the bat, more light on the ground, a little more light on the ground. So that's a good looking shot. So here's where we're going to come in with some lume cubes. And I haven't decided if I want to do a gel on these or if I just want to change some of the color in post. Let's turn one on. I do have a diffuser panel on the lume cubes though. And let's just put a couple little stands up here. And I like that shadow he has on the wall. It's pretty dang nice. Let's put a light there and let's see what that adds to the scene. We're at half a second. Here is where I'm going to adjust the shutter to control the amount of light that's hitting the sensor from the lume cube. So let's do a shot on this and see what we got. See what that adds to the... Ooh, I like that. He really lights up the back of the wing, or under the body of the bat nicely. Ooh, I like it. Lights up his hand nicely. I do like that. It's pretty nice. And that's half a second on that one. And that's image 3954. All right, let's discuss this next image, 3955. So you can see the process so far, how we've started with the light, the flash behind the window. We did the flash overhead. We inserted the lume cube, which you can see right here. Then we inserted the last lume cube that got us image 3955, and we put that over here so that it would light the back of the room, giving us a little bit of depth. So it might seem trivial or not that important to set your lights up one by one, but in doing so, you see what each light contributes to the overall set. And that's really important because then you know which lights to adjust when things go wrong, or which lights to move when things go wrong. And so it's really important. And we're going to discuss the next couple images that I take because my GoPro did something weird and the video didn't record for a few moments. And so we're going to discuss the next few images that I took, and you're going to see the difference between flash and GoPro, and then we're going to pick back up with the video where the GoPro actually kicked back in and started recording again. So let's take a look at these next images real quick. All right, let's talk about this first image real quick. So I used flash in this first one because that's what you saw me set up. And so when I triggered the flash, let me talk about my settings real quick. The camera stays on half a second shutter speed. It stays on my flash for the flash through the window was at 1/16, and the one overhead was, I believe it was at like 1/64. And then we added the two lume cubes, and the shutter speed on the camera was, like I say, half a second, and the ISO was 200. So that being said, we fire the flash off, we take the shot, we roll the fog through the window, and you can see the effect of the fog right here. It creates some nice, well-defined patterns and captures the swirls, and all the different shapes that the fog makes as it rolls through the window. We've got the flash up high facing down at a 45-degree angle so we can get some really nice shadows coming through where the window panes are. Overall, it's a good shot, except for upper camera right. You can see the top corner of the stair. I don't like it. I'm going to adjust the stairs and retake the shot, and here it is. Overall, this is a great shot. It is one that I would certainly keep and begin to edit. But I want you to notice the fog, the shape, the swirls, the patterns as they come through the window. The flash is up high at a 45-degree angle. We're getting some good shadows through the window pane there. But I want you to notice the shape and the patterns in the fog. That's what flash does. Flash creates, or it captures and freezes that motion in the fog and allows you to have those well-defined, intense-looking patterns. That might be a type of fog you want. It might not be a type of fog you want. You might want the more dreamy, surreal kind of hazy fog. And in that case, we can switch over in this next shot to the lume cube and see what that does. Now look here, this is great. One shot is not better than the other. It's just a matter of preference. And the two different lighting styles or lighting sources create two different effects with the fog. The lume cube, I was on the very same settings as I was with the flash, the same shutter speed, the same aperture. The difference is the flash fires an intense, quick burst of daylight, and it captures, it freezes the action of the fog. The lume cube, since we're set at 1/2 a second shutter speed, it doesn't have the ability to create that instant burst of super bright sunlight, and so the shutter stays open on the camera longer in order to expose for the amount of light that the lume cube produces, and in doing so, the fog moves around a little bit and loses its shape and creates this really cool, surreal, dreamy kind of fog. So now that you can kind of see how the fog is made different from two different types of light sources, let's do a couple different shots and a couple different types of fog again, and just have a good time with this, and do a few little different poses with the Nosferatu since I got him out here. I'm going to do the same shot again. I'm just going to rotate the camera into portrait mode. I'm going to shut this light off, and we're going to do the first shot with the lume cube. And now that you know the different types of fog that you can create with the different, light sources, I'm just going to take a couple different shots and get it going here. So let's turn this lume cube on, since I'm going to hold it by hand. Okay, there we go. We'll get this going through here. There we go. Little 1/2 a second shutter speed. See what we got on that. Nice, soft, dreamy fog. Image 3960. So look at this. The 1/2 a second shutter speed that we used for the lume cube is allowed enough time for the fog to roll around just a little bit and lose some of that definition and blur a little bit and create that nice surreal looking dreamy kind of fog. There's still the same amount of detail in the window. The same shadows are being cast down onto the figure from the window pane, just like it was in the flash. The only difference is the shape of the fog. Now, I want to repeat, though, that the shutter speed used for this entire video was a 1/2 a second, and that only really mattered for the lume cube, not the flash. And the reason is because when the shutter is actuated and the camera takes that frame, that flash burst hits instantly for whatever duration you have it set for. Like mine in this case was 1/16 of a second. So the 1/2 a second doesn't even matter for the flash. But I just wanted to reiterate that so you could see that the only thing that changed in this entire video was we replaced the main light behind the window with a flash, and then we replaced it with a lume cube. That's all. The settings are all the same. So let's take a look and see what the next image looks like that we use the flash on, and you see what you like better. It's just a matter of personal preference, but at least you know how to make both kinds. Looks good. And this is really falls into just being a matter of what you like. But if you know how to make each type of fog, then you're good. You've got options. So let's do this one now with just the flash. Turn this lume cube. Actually, I'll keep this lume cube on because I want to put it behind the scene back here. Light the fog from behind a little bit. We'll put it right there. And I'll turn this flash back on. Channel B flash over here. There we go. Turn that rascal on and turn the modeling light on. Yeah, we're shining through there pretty good. Okay, cool. All the shutter speeds and everything are exactly the same. I haven't changed any of that. So we're going to go ahead and fire this rascal off. Fog going through. There we go. I went a little crazy with it, but who cares? And see, I like it, man. Image 3961. I mean, you can really see the frozen swirl and the defined edges of the fog in this. It just translates into a different sort of image, and I like that. I think it looks cool. And so on that flash in the back, let me tell you, I want to raise the flash. Hang on, let me go down to channel B here. Here we go, channel B. I would like to go from 1/16 on that up to 1/8 and do 1/8 and do that shot again. I would like that a little bit brighter back there. Okay, there we go. There it is. Okay, I think we're good on that. And let me take a look at that one. I just wanted it a little bit brighter. Oh, that's just lovely. Good God. 3962. So, I mean, look at this image. Beautiful. This is with the flash. You can see all the nice patterns and swirls. You know, it would be an awesome image to edit. I chose, in this case, to edit the one that we took with the lume cube. I just like the dreamy effect. It just gave me a different feel. And that's what it comes down to. What the image makes you feel at first glance, which one immediately catches your eye and for what reason. You know, I mean, so hopefully I helped you kind of understand a little bit about flash burst duration. The faster the duration, the less time the light is, you know, out there on the scene. So 1/8 and 1/16, 1/8 is slower, the light is out there on the scene longer. 1/16, the flash is faster. Kind of like shutter speed. The faster the shutter speed, the less ambient light is going to, you know, the less light is going to hit the scene. The slower the shutter speed, the more light's going to fall on the scene. So anyway, the shutter's going to stay open longer. So anyway, let's look at this final image that I did and chose with to go with the lume cube version of this one. Look at the beautiful, nice, sharp, clear detail. This is a beautiful figure, by the way. Mezco's Nosferatu. Man, beautiful. But look at the light comes through the window, and this is lume cube, half a second. That's all this was. I just and I handheld the lume cube for, you saw me in the video, so it really, you know. Now, if you wanted that brighter or dimmer, you could either decrease the power of the lume cube, or you could slow down. I mean, speed up your shutter. Shutter speed controls the ambient light. So anyway, but unless you're using flash in the studio, so yeah, but you know, two different fogs created two different ways. This is a beautiful shot. I really like the way this came out, man. So you build your lights up one by one, see what each one adds to the scene, move it if you need to, take a shot with everything firing at once, then add your fog with whatever light source you have or you want. Doesn't matter if you're using flash or lume cube or constant light sources of a lamp or something. The process is the same. You build each light up, you see what it offers to the scene, then you adjust your shutter speed if you're using constant lights, and man, you take your shot. If you're using flash, adjust your flash burst duration, and you take your shot. Anyway, folks, like and subscribe. I really appreciate you watching, and I hope I was able to share a little bit with you about flash and fog and burst durations and shutter speeds. Have fun with this, experiment. Follow me on all the different social media platforms. I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube. I love the interaction from the community of followers, and I appreciate it. And until the next video, take care. Hopefully this doesn't crash on me. I've already saved my file, so just in case, let me do it one more time. So let me just back out of this here for a quick second, show you what this is. All still the same image. This image right here from okay, no, actually it's this image here. This is the beginning, the original out of the camera. And let me just get back over here to Photoshop. So this is the same image. Right now, I'm just going to zoom in and do some selective sharpening. I'm at 155% or so. It doesn't matter. But you really definitely want to be zoomed in, working, really close and tight. I've got my flow up here to 20%. I've got a layer mask here from a high pass filter that I'm going to create some sharpening with, and we're just going to go through, and you'll see wherever I drag is going to selectively sharpen through the mask and create some good sharpness in selected areas to really bring out his features through the fog here. And we'll go in here and do a few here. You don't want to try to sharpen areas that aren't sharp to begin with, because then it just looks kind of bad. I'll just go up here and do a little bit in here, maybe a little bit in here, and I will do something to his eye here momentarily, but first let's finish with a little bit of his this is some of the selective sharpening stuff here. I like that stuff on the same focal plane. This here could stand some sharpening, and it's fine. This here, not really. It's kind of going back out. It's a little blurry. Should I take these? I take these shoes and these pants. You don't want to sharpen anything that's already dark. That's just going to look bad. So, but we can go in here and push B for brush, and just with a light flow of 20, just go in here on the very edge and pick up a little bit of edge detail there. And not right there because it's already blurry, but right in here be okay. But not right there. It's already too out of focus. And we're not going to do anything with that hand. Zoom back out here and kind of just see what we're looking like. There's before. Look at his nose. There's after. We're looking pretty good with that. Let's go ahead and save this. And I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to make a duplicate layer. I'm going to hit screen and look at the highlights in the eyes here coming through the window. And I'm at 300%, so you're really going to, let me create a layer mask here. invert that. There we go. And get a brush, and we'll set that flow down to probably, 0.5 flow. And we'll brush a highlight back in. Now, I'm not adding a highlight. The highlight is here already because he's looking at the window, remember? So we're going to just go ahead and lightly brush that highlight a little bit brighter. There we go. Let's see. Okay, there's before, there's after, and let's zoom back out so you can kind of see it a little bit better. Okay, it's like that, and then you can feather it out a little bit by double clicking on the mask and coming up here. Right about there looks good. And that brightens that up a little bit. We can go through also, and let's do I'm going to cheat and set it to multiply. I'm going to lower the opacity, the multiply layer, probably about right there. Then I'm going to double click here to get to blend diff. And we're just going to look at the dark part of this image. Whoops. Get back. Get back. All right there. Now we'll feather this out just a little bit. And we'll back that out just a little bit more. Okay. And now we'll layer mask that out. And so we can go in here and select the brush tool. And we're at a very low opacity. So can actually go in here and darken up just some of these shadows just a bit to create a little bit more depth in some of these crevices and wrinkles that he's got going on. Being Eternals, it can mess with the skin a little bit. The nice thing about blend if is if I go outside of the parameters of the blend if, it doesn't really affect it anywhere except where I've pre-selected. So I can kind of go up here and it's not going to do anything. So you can be a little bit sloppy with this, if that's the word for it, I guess. But I just really want to add a little bit more of the, let's just turn it off. It's off. Now it's back on. Now I think what I'll do is just feather that just a little bit to decrease some of the hardness in the edges of it. Let's take a look there. Okay, there's there's with it and there's before. And I really like that, amount of contrast that's there. I think it looks pretty good. And so a couple last little things here that I will do on this image. And really this is all done really right in camera. I went through and I added into the fog I changed the color temp in the middle of the fog to make it look as though warm light is coming into a cool room. That's so that really helps sell the idea a little bit that he's in a cool room. So let's do this. Let's and I work in probably the most destructive way you can. Not really, but kind of, sort of, sometimes. We're going to create a color dodge. Not screen, but color dodge. Hit it like this. Push X, and we're just going to go through and get the brush tool, and we're going to put it to about 3% flow, and we're just going to touch. Push X. Just touch some of the edges of these buttons here, just to get a little bit of. Decrease my brush size here, just to get some of that nice reflection in them. See that there? That's what we want. A little bit of. I'm sure those are probably metal, so we'll get some nice reflection on those rascals in there. There we go. That's looking good. This trick also works. If you want to do it on his eye, you could, but I don't. I think. Let's see what we got here. Gosh, man, it's a good looking image. Let's do one other thing that I'd like to do. I don't know that I'm going to like to do it in this case, but let's take a look. We're going to go over here. We're going to hit filter, do a slight Gaussian blur of not 47, probably 15. 47 is a little bit much. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go through over here to color dodge. That's a little intense. Let's go to overlay. Let's go. Okay, let's go over here to soft light, hard light. Yeah, that's giving it a little bit more of a cartoony kind of feel. All I'm looking at is the brightness. Looks like a comic book right there. Yeah, no. Light, nah. I think we're just gonna keep it like we had it. I really like it just like that. Right at it, pretty much right out of camera. And you know, here we have a. Let me bring up. Whoops, cancel. Let me go over here to. Hey, what happened? We're gonna go over here and open the original. This is the. Okay, edit in. I'm just going to bring these two in Photoshop. I want to open them up in the same window in Photoshop. And hopefully this thing doesn't crash because I've got all these programs open. Don't know what all that is doing. Let's go back to Photoshop. Okay, so we've got both of these open. Okay, yeah. Let's go to Window and Arrange. Let's do, okay, hide this. So, here is, come on, don't be difficult. Okay. Here is the edited, and here is the original right out of camera. I mean, the differences are subtle, but they're there, and they really make the photo, they really change the dynamic of it, the feel of it, especially this warm color temp cutting through the blue, cooler color temp. That really, really helps. The warm light on his face here, let's just zoom in on that and take a look. See, this just gives a whole nother layer of depth to the image. It's not just blue light. There's a light from a color temp outside coming in and changing the color temp inside, and so it really helps bring that out. Me doing that in post production, and I think we're looking pretty good, man. I like that. We're going to post that on Instagram, and you guys and gals, take care. Talk to you later, and I'm going to quit recording this. We've got all the images here from the shoot. There's 18 images from this that we just shot, and I want to show you what I was talking about during the recording of the video. And you can see our first shot, which is simply where we aimed the flash through the window and took an exposure and made sure what I wanted lit was lit, and if there was detail in the window or if that was blown out at all, and it wasn't. There was light falling on him, a little light falling on the ground behind, and you know, casting long shadows, which is cool from the rat. It's pretty cool. But so as we build our lights up, I decided, yeah, that light looked good. And then I included, if you look at the difference here, there's no light camera left foot. Then I turned the overhead light on top with the snoot, and we illuminated the ground around him on the floor, and that gave some nice highlight on the bat in his hand, the top part of the rat. Okay, the top part of the rat was illuminated from the window, but it did light the rat on the steps. Got some nice highlights in the rim of the hat on top, and overall it helped fill the scene out. I you know, think it looked pretty good, but I actually bumped it up just a little bit, and till you see what we got here. See the difference between these two. Let's take a look at the steps, the handle on the stairs. The bat is illuminated just a little bit more, and his hat just a little bit more. It just looks a little bit brighter in there, in those areas, and I liked that. Next, we add the addition of a lume cube, and you can really see right here, illuminates under the wing of the bat, illuminates his hand, illuminates the ear and this side of his face, which I really like. It's nice, looks good. We didn't have that in this. See there, dark, and the lume cube helped fill that in. Okay, so each light is adding something to the scene. Do we like what it adds? Do we not like what it adds? Do we need to adjust what it adds? So these first shots are just that, building up the light. Let's add another lume cube in the back. And what this does is just add a little depth. I got a door back there. You wouldn't know it, right? So this just adds light to give the room a little depth to it. And it's going to, just help that visual kind of appeal. So now the next images we're going to start getting into are the ones where we create the different kinds of fog. This one here, all the settings, let me show you. Let's go back to the metadata. ISO 100, 100 millimeter, f8, half a second. Same settings, ISO 100, 100 millimeter, f8, half a second. Okay, the half a second is only for the lume cubes. It has nothing to do with the flash. That flash is going to fire, and a half a second has nothing to do with that. So it's only for the constant light sources. And those are illuminating the room itself. So that's why we have those there. But take a look at what the flash did to the fog as it came through the window. All this nice pattern and swirl and detail that can be picked up as it enters into the room. As it gets back here and sort of dissipates, you could still see the detail in it. And this is a nice shot. Absolutely. I mean, I dig it. I would edit this shot without a doubt. Let's take a look at the shot now with the lume cube. And keep in mind, these settings are all the same. I haven't changed anything. It's all half a second, f8, 100 millimeter, ISO 100. The only, the light coming through the window is a flash. Now we're going to go to the next shot, and the light coming through the window will be a lume cube, which doesn't have the flash burst of, what I used, which was coming through the window, which was the Evolve 200. That's why flash, you can really capture some good action and pattern and stuff with flash that you can't catch with, something less powerful. Let's take a look at this next shot. Actually, I have two shots here. What did I do? Oh, you know what? That's what I did. I moved the composition a little bit because of this right here. So this is the exact same shot. I just changed composition a little bit. And matter of fact, as a result, we got a different fog pattern in here in this one. So I put less of the stair, more of the window in, because I didn't like the way the top of the stair looked in the frame. That's what it was. Same settings though, ISO 100, 100 millimeter, f8, half a second. This is a flash coming through the window. We got great detail right here. Nice shadows. The flash is up high so that it casts these shadows down low. And I really like that. I don't want to say 45-degree angle, but it's kind of 45-ish degree angle. And it just looks really nice with that broken up shadow and, bit of detail in there. I like this shot. I would definitely begin to edit this shot. And let's take a look. Yeah, I mean, it's just a good looking shot. I would certainly, right out of camera, I would certainly jump on this and edit it. Let's take a look at what the lume cube did though, man. Ding, ding, ding. Look at this. Okay. Once again, everything is just the same. Look at the metadata up here. ISO 100, f8, half a second. Half a second, here is for the lume cube. But in that half a second, it gives the time for the fog to move around a little bit. And when the shutter is open and there's movement, things blur. That's what the fog does here. That's why you get this dreamy, hazy kind of looking fog. And so it's pretty cool. Now, another thing that this does is you don't get the brightness. I feel you don't get the brightness because if you look back at this shot, well, first of all, there's 2 lume cubes in this shot and a flash, but I don't feel you get the same brightness from the fog that sort of reflects around the room a little bit. You could always add another lume cube, I guess, if you want, but I only have 2, so that's all I can add. But let's take a look again at that shot, and this is the same shot. The difference is, look at the direction of the light, the angle of the light. This light is down lower. This light is up higher. Okay. And this isn't a bad shot, but for me, I don't like the fog, the shape of it, or the amount of it in this shot. It's not bad. It's just, it's not a bad shot. I just prefer one like this. You know, and this here, this is done with the flash. But let's go back to the lume cube one. Out of the 2 lume cube ones, I much prefer this one. Just more fog. I got a little bit more detail in there. A little bit more shadow in there. I just like the placement of the fog better in this one. And though it is a dreamy fog, and it is different than, say, this one, neither of them, I don't think, are better than the other. They just, there's a difference in the fog, and you know, it's just going to be a matter of personal preference. Now let's look at this rascal. I like this one. Portrait mode, portrait orientation, I should say. And I would just go and straighten this up in when I go to edit this. We're not going to do any of that now. I'll pick a couple and then we'll edit them. But I like this one. This is done with the flash, you could tell. Okay, let this focus for a minute. You could see this is done with. Is this done with flash? Let me see. Yeah, it's definitely done with flash. But I like it. You can see because off up here, and down here you got that good shape. It made me question for a minute, but I like this shot. I like this angle. I like this pose. I like this fog. I like the tight feeling crop to it. I like it. And you see how it kind of works. Once you build up your lights and you set your lights up the way that you want them, then you can just move around the figure and photograph it. And once you've got the kind of fog that you want, or you know how to make the fog that you're after, then you can just go around and have fun with the set now that you've got your lights set up. But this one, not a fan of it. What happened here was I had a light back here that was illuminating this fog and making it lose detail. And I remember what happened there, so I retook that shot, and yeah, it looks cool. But you know what? Oh boy, hang on, wait for those. Let me rate this one, because that's definitely one I want to keep. And let me go back and rate. Oh man, I really like this too. I mean, the dreamy fog is nice. You know, here's my problem. I like them all, but I got to choose one. I don't like the stair up there that goes into the wall. I'm not a fan of that. This is much better. Let's go with this rascal on that one. So we got one flash fog, and we've got this one here. God, I like that one. Man, I just really do. Sorry. We've got this one that I like. This one here, not so much. This one here, this is a good one too. I will tell you, my first at glance is super bright right here. You know, loss of detail in the window, which that's not a big deal. You could go in and post and tone this down a bit, but out of this one and this one, I'm loving this one. Yeah, this one is too much pattern in the fog for me. This one, God, I'm definitely going to edit this one. I like it a lot. So, but you can see how the same pose, same settings from the camera, just a different light source creates an entirely different feel of an image. So you can get the patterned fog, or you can get the soft, surreal, blurry fog. That's a good one. I mean, I still like it, but let's take a look at this. Different pose. This isn't a bad one, except that I had this light too close back here, and I changed that up, and so I went with this. Yeah, I went with this one. And while this isn't a bad shot at all, I would come in and adjust the brightness of it a little bit in post, and then I would layer mask out the fog. Let this load up real quick. I would layer out the fog, layer mask out the fog a little bit so that his teeth and eyes and a few of the things were a little more visible in there. And that's what I would do with that. That's why I took that second picture with no fog. This is nice. This one is nicer. Let's see. Yeah, this is the one that we'll go with this one. Now this one here, like I say, there's a little dreamy fog in there, but I don't like the effect of it. This one here, I like it. And this would go... Oh, you know what happened here? I'll tell you what happened here. My camera went to auto ISO. What did it go to? Let me see. No, it went to ISO 1000. Sometimes I bump the camera and it goes to auto ISO. Gosh, ISO 1000. And you always got to double check that camera because it will ruin a shot. ISO 1000. It's ridiculous. So at any rate, I would take... I mean, I could fix that. But honestly, if you can see now, and I've explained it kind of reasonably well through example more so than words, what the how to get the two different types of fog, then hopefully you can find some value in that. And I think as far as editing goes, one of the first pictures I'm going to edit, God, I like this picture, but I love this one. I'm going to edit this one first, man. Let's get in here and edit this, man. This is going to be great. Let me go and stop this.